Hey friends, if you know me, you know I love me some Josh Ritter. He's a folk artist that Rhonda and I discovered about 20 some years ago when we were first married, and he's become a music staple in our home over the years. I've even quoted him in my sermons over the last year or two as well. So, Josh is thoughtful, he's creative, he's often very lyrically profound, and he has this way of putting words to wonder. His latest song that I've been listening to is called Truth is a Dimension, both invisible and blinding. And it is no exception to that rule about being profound. It's actually playing here in the background. Listen. Anyway, the song tells the story of an astronomer who, while studying a cluster of stars, he has this sort of existential epiphany about truth, this idea of truth. Truth, he realizes, doesn't behave like a fixed object. It's slippery, it's relative, it's elusive. He sings this: truth is not immutable, itself is a dimension. Truth can be both weighted down and warped in strange directions. It frays or it may blaze out at some Paul bound for Damascus. It both exists and doesn't, like a star that's not observed yet. It's poetry. Anyway, truth is always refracted, Josh is saying. It's always interpreted through the lens of the observer. And so the astronomer ends his monologue by asking the listener to pass a message on to his former lover, Tanya. This is what he says: please tell her I still love her. That will always be the truth. And so with that last line of the song, Ritter shifts the whole narrative. He moves from this sort of postmodern fog to this bedrock clarity. The truth, it turns out, can be known, and it is immutable, not as a concept but as a commitment, a love that remains true even when the cosmos feel uncertain. So which is it? Is truth relative and simultaneously existing and yet not existing, as Ritter sings at the beginning? Or is it actually unchanging and forever, as he seems to conclude at the end? The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard, he wrote that truth is not a matter of knowing this or that, but of being in the truth. Do you catch that? It's this idea of knowing versus being. For Kierkegaard, truth isn't cold data that stands alone out there in outer space waiting to be grasped, kind of among the stars or whatever. It's not abstract or theoretical. Instead, it's relational. It's the astronomer in Josh's song yearning for his Tanya and always committed to that love. It's what you live. It's what you stand in. Truth is embodied. I've been reading about Jesus' discussion of truth in John chapter 14 this past week, and Jesus doesn't simply say in this that I will teach you the truth, or here are some things that are true, just agree with this. Instead, he says, I am the truth. Right? He doesn't present truth as a system to be grasped, but as a person to be known or to be followed. I'll say it again. Truth to Jesus isn't a set of statements to affirm, but a person to be known and followed. This is a very different way of trying to understand truth. It transcends the spectrum between objectivity and subjectivity, between relative and absolute. Truth isn't something we master up here. It's something that masters us right here. And, it takes a lifetime for us to get that and to arrive at that, if you will, which is what makes Jesus' call so radical. He invites us into truth, not by believing truth about him, but with the call to follow him, right? It's not cold analysis, but with a relational love that ends always with, that will always be the truth. As Josh's song kind of concludes. Josh is right that truth can be invisible and blinding, but maybe it's blinding in the way you step out of darkness into bright sunlight. Not because it lacks clarity, but because we just aren't used to the brightness. We have to adjust. And maybe it's invisible not because it's absent or always changing and never graspable, but because it's revealed in ways that we tend not to think of when we think of truth. In other words, as a person and as a way. The way of love and compassion and empathy and justice and all the stuff that Jesus embodied and then called us to follow it. Does that make sense? Okay, that's it. some random thoughts to share here on this beautiful sunny day. If nothing else, do yourself a favor, go out and discover the music of Josh Ritter. He makes for some great summer music listening. Take care, friends.